Introduction. Allison Automatic Transmissions delivers smooth automatic upshifts and downshifts without interruption of power to the wheels during changing road and traffic conditions automatically. Understanding shift selector features helps operators maximize the Allison experience. The push-button shift selector features reverse, neutral, and drive buttons, up and down arrow buttons, and a mode button. The selector digital display indicates the highest available gear range and current range attained, and can also display oil level and prognostics information, if available in the calibration. Getting started. The keypad push-button shift selector automatically initializes in neutral prior to engine start. When the ignition is turned on, N shows in the digital display Select and Monitor fields, indicating neutral has been attained and the engine may now be started. The trans service icon, a wrench, appears briefly in the shift selector display at engine start. The trans service icon will illuminate again for 3 seconds if transmission prognostics are enabled. Select D, Drive, for forward operation. The select side of the digital display shows the highest available forward gear. The currently attained gear is displayed on the monitor side of the digital display. During normal operation, the transmission upshifts and downshifts automatically based on throttle position, engine speed, and vehicle load. Select R for reverse operation. The selector shows R on both sides of the digital display. Up and down arrow buttons. Allison Transmissions automatically select gears based on a combination of transmission output speed, engine throttle position, and, in some cases, vehicle acceleration. However, shifts to specific gears can be requested or pre-selected using the up and down arrow buttons. Pre-selecting to a lower range, downshifting, can provide better vehicle speed control when operating on grades or in adverse conditions where a standard upshift or downshift is not desired. Downshifting to a lower gear also increases engine braking. Occasionally, it may be desirable to restrict automatic shifting to a lower gear due to road conditions, load, or traffic conditions. The selection of a lower gear can also prevent cycling between gears. Use the up and down arrows to upshift and downshift one gear at a time. Pre-selected downshifts are permitted only if an engine overspeed condition will not occur after completion of the downshift. Pressing the down arrow button once changes the select side of the digital display to the currently attained gear. This is known as Express Pre-Select. When downshifting, gently release pressure on the throttle and then press the down arrow button. Each button push results in a downshift of one gear. When upshifting, increase pressure on the throttle and then press the up arrow button. Each button push results in an upshift of one gear. Pressing and holding either arrow button continuously changes the selected gear up or down until the button is released or the highest or lowest available gear is selected. Once attained, the pre-selected gear is held until the operator selects a different gear using the up or down arrow button, or the pre-select will time out in approximately 2 minutes if the transmission control system senses throttle position between closed and full throttle. This helps avoid situations where a pre-selection is forgotten, causing the engine to operate in a gear that provides less than optimal fuel economy. Press D, Drive, to return the transmission to its normal automatic upshift and downshift operation. Mode button. Allison Automatics offer primary and secondary shift schedules to enhance performance or fuel economy. The vehicle always defaults to the primary mode on engine start. If the vehicle operates in the performance mode as the primary shift schedule, the secondary shift schedule will be economy mode and vice versa. The programmed secondary shift schedule is identified on the shift selector. Switch to either the performance or the economy secondary shift schedule by pushing the mode button. In economy mode, the transmission shifts at lower engine speed to allow the engine to operate in a more fuel-efficient range. In performance mode, the transmission upshifts at higher engine speed. This can help provide quick acceleration for merging into traffic or onto a freeway. The performance mode extends engine power for a longer period of time in each range. In some vehicles equipped with performance as the secondary mode, a timeout feature begins when the mode button is pressed. If the transmission controls sense less than full throttle operation, or after approximately 60 seconds of performance mode operation, the transmission will automatically return to the economy shift schedule. Pressing the mode button again will also return the transmission to the standard economy shift schedule. On utility, fire, emergency, refuse, and other specialized vehicles, the mode button may be used for a variety of different functions. For example, to activate a PTO, to command or inhibit shift ranges, or to enable hydraulic pump operation. These functions are offered in special vocational programming packages tailored to how the vehicle will be used. Fluid level check. Proper fluid level is critical to transmission life and performance. Most Allison 3000, 4000, and TC10 transmissions are available with an electronic oil level sensor, which can be accessed using the shift selector. The feature becomes accessible when the fluid temperature is above 40 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and below 104 degrees Celsius, 220 degrees Fahrenheit. The vehicle must be stationary on a level surface in neutral for approximately 2 minutes to allow the fluid to settle. With the engine at idle, parking brakes applied, and transmission in neutral, press the up and down arrow buttons simultaneously one time. The system can immediately access the oil level mode, or it may enter a countdown while various conditions are automatically monitored. Once accessed, the feature indicates the transmission fluid level is okay, or that the level is high or low by a specific number of quarts. The system may also display a variety of messages, including indications that engine speed may be too high or that fluid temperature is not within the acceptable range. Exit the oil level sensor mode by pressing the neutral button. Prognostics, fluid and filter life. Allison Transmission Prognostics monitor fluid and filter life. When prognostics are enabled for the transmission, the trans service icon, a wrench, in the digital display indicates oil life and filter life status. If the indicator illuminates or stays on for 2 minutes after the engine is started and drive is selected, a fluid change is needed. If the indicator flashes on and off for 2 minutes after drive is selected, a filter change is needed. Once a prognostics warning becomes active and the trans service icon is illuminated, a diagnostic trouble code, a DTC, sets and the check transmission light illuminates if fluid or filter service is not performed within a specific period of time. Oil Life Monitor. Use the Oil Life Monitor, OM, to view the percentage of fluid life remaining. With the engine off and ignition on, press the up and down arrow buttons simultaneously twice. Press the up and down arrows simultaneously once for non-OLS equipped transmissions. The remaining oil life is displayed as a percentage between 0 and 100 in the shift selector display. Exit the fluid life display by pressing the neutral button. Filter Life Monitor. Use the Filter Life Monitor to view filter life status. With the engine off and ignition on, press the up and down arrow button simultaneously 3 times. Press the up and down arrows simultaneously twice for non-OLS equipped transmissions. The display will indicate whether the filters are okay or in need of replacement. Exit the Filter Life display by pressing the neutral button. After servicing 3000 and 4000 product family transmission filters, the Filter Life Monitor automatically resets. Transmission Health Monitor. 3000 and 4000 product family prognostic packages include Transmission Health Monitor. This feature determines clutch life status and indicates when clutch maintenance is required. Access this feature with the engine off and ignition on by pressing the up and down arrow buttons simultaneously 4 times or 3 times on 7-speed transmissions which do not include an oil level sensor. An acceptable clutch life status is displayed as Trans Health OK. An unacceptable clutch life status is displayed as Trans Health Low. Trans Health NA appears if transmission shifts have not adapted. Exit the Transmission Health Monitor by pressing the neutral button. Diagnostics. If the check transmission light illuminates during operation, seek service as soon as possible. Some issues may restrict shifting, limiting forward operation to certain ranges or preventing shifts from neutral. Logged diagnostic trouble codes, DTCs, can be accessed using the shift selector. With the vehicle in a safe location, parking brakes applied, engine at idle, and transmission in neutral, press the up and down arrow buttons simultaneously twice if prognostics are not enabled, or once for non-OLS equipped transmissions. If prognostics are enabled, press the buttons 4 times for TC10 transmissions and 5 times for OLS equipped transmissions. Up to 5 DTCs may be stored for display. Press the Mode button to read the next DTC in the list. DTCs can be active or historic. Active DTCs can potentially impact current transmission operation. Historic DTCs are retained in memory, but do not necessarily affect current transmission operation. An attempt can be made to clear individual DTCs by pressing and holding the Mode button for approximately 3 seconds. If the conditions causing an active DTC still exist, the code may reset. An attempt can be made to clear all DTCs by pressing and holding the Mode button for approximately 10 seconds. Again, active codes may reset if the conditions causing the code still exist. Exit the diagnostic mode by pressing neutral, or the system will automatically exit diagnostic mode after 10 minutes of shift selector inactivity. Warnings and inhibits. As discussed in the prognostic section of this presentation, if the trans-service icon remains illuminated after engine start or illuminates during operation, this indicates that transmission fluid or filters require service. Service should be performed as soon as possible when this occurs. After engine start, the shift selector will display 2 continuously illuminated N's for neutral. If the shift selector display is blank, displays only 1 character, or displays cat eyes, seek service assistance immediately. Neutral should be selected by the operator before turning off the engine. If the vehicle operator must leave the vehicle unattended with the engine operating and the transmission in neutral, the vehicle parking brake must be fully applied and the wheels chocked. Never leave the transmission in a forward or reverse range with the vehicle parking brake applied. Prolonged operation in this condition can overheat the transmission and cause damage. The transmission control system contains standard inhibits to protect the transmission. If engine speed is too high, the transmission will not shift out of neutral until engine speed is below a safe RPM to allow a shift to occur. This condition will cause the shift selector display to flash, indicating inhibited operation. The shift selector display can also flash, indicating inhibited operation into a forward or reverse range due to special safety features that may be utilized by the truck manufacturer. An example would be requiring the vehicle operator to apply the service brakes before a shift is allowed from neutral. Some vehicles utilize the neutral at stop feature. This feature reduces the load imposed on the engine when the vehicle is stopped and the transmission is in a forward range. The transmission is operating correctly if a reduction in engine load can be sensed when this feature is active. Do not shift to neutral when the vehicle is moving. This can cause reduced engine braking effectiveness and severe transmission damage. Do not allow the vehicle to coast in neutral. Transmission operation may be inhibited during cold weather or when high transmission fluid temperatures are sensed. Temperature limits and programmed inhibits vary. Reference the appropriate operator's manual for details specific to the transmission and vehicle vocation.